It's time to reset for the month of June. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that may be new, welcome. My name is Tracy and this is a girl with plans. I want to thank you all for joining me today as I am getting back to doing monthly resets. It has been a while since I've done this. So monthly resets can mean like different things to different people. For me, the main aspect is goal setting. I have kind of steered away from goal setting for the past few months just because my life has been so hectic. My mood has not been the best. And sometimes, you know, when you're feeling down, setting goals is not really what you want to think about. But I really need to get things back in order. So I definitely want to jump back into the goal setting. So that is going to be a big part of my June reset. Now, this is going to be a little bit of an abbreviated version as far as some other things that I typically do that I may not be doing this month. One is budget. So I just came off of a very, very heavy spend month. I had a huge, a huge cost for a home renovation project. Then I went to go wild and all of that just really, my bank account took a major hit. However, basically, for budgeting purposes, this month just needs to be bare bones. I don't even know if I'm going to go too heavy into setting a budget. I just don't want to spend any extra money this month. That's why I don't even know if I'm going to set a budget, just because I don't want to spend. So I feel like if I set a budget, that's giving me permission to spend. So I'm not going to do that. I still do my monthly finance tracking or my weekly finance tracking. So at the end of every week, I go back through and I write down all of my spending habits, break them apart by category so I can see the picture at the end of the month. But yeah, I think I'm going to just skip actually budgeting for the month of June. However, those of you who have seen my channel know that I'm not a huge budgeter anyway. I don't really go in depth about it. There's just certain categories I try to put like caps on. But like I said, for the month of June, I'm trying to put like a $0 cap on everything. So what's the point of budgeting, right? All right. So that is something else that I always do. Usually it's part of a different video, but another part of kind of the reset is kind of setting up the monthly calendars. I had been doing that. I don't think I'm going to do that on camera this month because I'm not sure if I'm going to decorate them this month. So I have two main planners that I use. I have a daily planner, which is the Hemlock and Oak daily planner. I absolutely love this planner. I feel like I really do need a daily planner in my life. I've talked about that so many times. But in addition to a daily planner, I also need a monthly planner or a weekly planner. Just because I need to put like everything down to see, like to get that big snapshot of the week, and it helps me break apart my days when I do that. So like this doesn't get crazy filled in or anything like that. It's just kind of like any appointments, any due dates that I have for like work or anything like that, birthdays or anything that is kind of time sensitive or like a timed appointment will go in here. So that way when I start looking at those goal related things or those other just general to-dos like chores and things like that, yes, I do have to schedule some of my chores, then I can kind of figure out what day works best. So that's why I use this. Usually I go into this on Sunday, and this is like what I work on Sunday evenings. And then Sunday night I'll come in and I'll start working on Monday's to-dos, and then Monday night I work on Tuesday's to-dos. I plan on doing a video showing the whole setup of how I get the week started. I do those every once in a while, and I think it's time for another one. But the monthly calendars, I think I'm going to do these a little bit differently because I don't want them to be duplicative. I think on here, I'm only going to put the things that I kind of capture here. So I'll put like bill due dates and reminders for like upcoming subscriptions or things like that. But then I'll put like birthdays, appointments, and things like that. Again, time sensitive stuff, things that are like that. That's what I'm going to put on here. Now I have a social media planner in here, and I really do like using the monthly layout, specifically the checklist layout. So I think I'm going to still use some of that. And it has a monthly calendar in here, but I think I'm going to start moving my social media to my daily planner. And I'm going to put like my social media, like my YouTube videos here. So I'll put that in here along with my actual 9-to-5 job to do. So I'm gonna put that in there. And I might put some other things that won't necessarily go in here. So I'm gonna be using them for 2 different purposes. So with that said, I'm not gonna have any really room to decorate here. So this might not get decorated at all. I don't think I'm gonna decorate either of them this month. I think I'm just kind of behind and I don't want to do that. But if I was to decorate it, I might be able to throw something here and something here. But I think I even need this. So yeah, that's kind of the things that I do for a monthly reset. The other thing that I need to do as part of my monthly reset is this is my 3-year journal that I created from scratch. And now I have everything filled in, so I can't show you guys. So I've had videos on this. So basically what I'm doing is I've already stuck down the year stickers. Basically I have 12 pages for each month. So I create 12 prompts. And I'll write the prompts here and then I'll separate it there. So I definitely need to do this as part of my monthly reset because the idea is to do this throughout the month and not just wait till the end of the month to fill in all 12 prompts. I usually get the prompts just online. I've gone over some of the places that I've gotten my prompts from in previous videos. But I just like to have prompt-based journaling because free journaling is just not my jam. So yeah, that is also part of my monthly reset. So I just kind of wanted to go over that real quick, just because, you know, when we talk about monthly resets, like I said, they could be different things for different people. But what we're going to focus on this video is more of the goal setting portion. And look at this. I already decorated it. I wasn't going to decorate it, but then I got these really cute printables from Designer Chameleon, this little hummingbird section. See how cute they are? They're also available as tangibles, but I did the printable version. I'll flash my discount code on the screen in case you're interested, but they're so cute. And then I use these little box stickers from an ancient Happy Planner sticker book called Layered Boxes, but it works really well. So this is how I'm going to do my goals this month. It's going to be kind of different, but kind of similar. Yeah, that made a whole lot of sense. So I started doing this a couple of months ago. When I was looking at my goals, I was like, I can't just like jump off and start thinking about goals. The first thing I need to think of is like, what big is going on this month that I need to remember that could impact my goals. Now, I don't know if this is going to impact my goals, but it is Father's Day this month. So I'll write Father's Day. And I do have doctor's appointments and labs. The reason why I'm only putting the doctor's appointments down is because, again, I'm trying to think of things that could impact my goals or just kind of impact, not necessarily goals, but like focus areas or my to-dos for the month. Because, you know, when you go to the doctor, you get lab work done, they could give you homework to do. And that homework can just throw everything that I write in here basically off. So those are 2 things that I need to kind of remember. So even though it says don't forget, that I just use that, but it's kind of things that could impact it. The other thing that I want to put here is I have a lot of work projects that are going to be due this month. So that can impact my schedule. So I'll just say work schedule. And I don't like that I messed it up, so we are just going to put a new one on here. Oh, I need to get rid of my perfectionist ways. We'll do it this way. Okay, so that's just basically I'm writing stuff shorthand in ways that I can remember them. So those are the things I have to keep in mind when I start breaking down my goals. So before I start breaking down my goals, I'm doing a top 3. So basically I've done like a whole goal setting series. I decided to move into this notebook. I haven't really been keeping up with it, so I don't know if this is going to be a continuing thing in future years. But at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, I'm going to do quarterly goals. So I did all of these fun little quarterly goals. Fun is like definitely in quotation marks and sarcasm. But I just was like, these are really good goals that didn't just need to be for the quarter. So I'm kind of keeping them in the back of my mind as I kind of continue on month after month. Even though I won't be doing these scores, I could do them at the end of each month. So I'm definitely trying to keep these in mind, but I want to kind of pull out three main things. Because again, this work is just going to have me busy. And when it has me busy, it has me tired. Was that even proper English? I'm going to be tired. So, yeah. So my top three is going to be my wellness is going to be one of them. The other one is going to be declutter. And the third one's going to be routines. And my focus is, and specifically for wellness, it's going to be on nutrition. Okay. So yes, I already had an idea of what I was going to do before I hit the record button today. So I did an entire video where I was setting up my new fitness and wellness planner, and I kind of set up some goals for the month of June. So I'm not going to deep dive into those too much, but I'm going to deep dive in them just a little bit because there's things I have to take into account when I'm planning out my weeks. And this is going to be kind of my guide when I start doing my weekly planning. Remember how I said like every Sunday I'll get like this planner out and start mapping out my week? This is going to kind of help when I get to that too. All right, so first we'll just start with the main one, which is, we'll just start here, which is the nutrition or the wellness. So I'm going to do like, I think for this, I am going to just focus on nutrition because like I said, I have my fitness in here. But there's a few things I need to kind of bring into this goals planner. So I'm just going to write, which is Whole Foods, not the grocery store, just Whole Foods. All right. So in order to attain this, I kind of went over this in here, but like I said, we're going to break it down a little bit different here. So I need to meal plan. So to meal plan, I need to pretty much, that is going to have to be added to my schedule probably on Thursdays or Fridays. So I need to make it a point to do that on Thursdays and Fridays usually because I do my grocery shopping on Saturdays or Sunday mornings. And then I need to obviously meal prep. And also the meal planning is going to be a little bit more difficult as I kind of start this over again. At one point I was really good with nutrition and I didn't need to like log the food into my Fitness Pal. I kind of knew what certain foods were and how I can combine them to kind of have like balanced nutrition, but it's been a while. So I'm probably going to have to like add foods into my Fitness Pal as I'm planning my meals just to make sure I'm getting like a balanced meal. So I'm going to probably put that in there too. MFP for my Fitness Pal. So that means that it's not just going to be sitting down and writing what I like to have next week. It's actually going to take some planning. So like, I mean, that could be like 30, 45 minutes, give or take, for just meal planning alone. So that's definitely something I have to schedule in my daily planners. So for meal prepping, that is going to be done on Sundays and Wednesdays. I don't really think there's anything really that needs to go there. But that's usually fine. I really don't have a problem with it because I can usually multitask with that. A lot of times I can like listen to a book, listen to something else while I'm doing it, and it's fine. Some other things I need to think about though is I also need to think about budget. Because, you know, things ain't cheap and I just spent a whole lot of money. So I'm not technically budgeting for the month of June. I do need to kind of think about that when I'm doing my groceries. Fortunately, you know, healthier foods are in season. So that should be a little bit easy. So I'm just going to have to like look at sales ads. That's usually what I do. Like I usually go to a few grocery stores anyway, Aldi being one of them, but then the other one being like a big grocery store, seeing what's on sale. That's like a minor thing. I don't really have to think about that as much. That's actually part of the meal planning, but I forgot to write that there. All right, then we have to do meal tracking. This is going to be 2 parts. So for this, I need to do this in my wellness planner. Just in case you hadn't seen that video, so I'm going to be using a passion planner daily. And I'm using it the same way I've used the Go Getter Girl and I've used the Erin Condren, except this I get to play around a little bit more. But what I'm going to do here is this is where I'm going to log my food. So I will log it where I eat. So the time I eat. So like if I eat breakfast at 9 a.m., I will log it here. Obviously, it can start at the 9. I know that's when I started eating. And then if it goes, because I have big handwriting, goes until 10, I know the 9 o'clock is what's important. I might even take a highlighter and just highlight the 9. So this will be filled up just because it's a small amount of space. But that's how I log my food. And then, like I said, I'm also going to be doing it into my Fitness Pal because I want to record my macros also in my daily planner. Now, there's another thing I need to do with my meal tracking. I'm looking at my journal shelf. Last October, I think it was, I created this like journal, that is my fitness and wellness tracker for like long-term tracking. And there's a section in here I've yet to use because I haven't really done anything. It's like nutrition. So I have a place for like food reactions. I had joked about, I don't know why I have so many pages for this. But then I also have right here, I didn't make it cute yet, but I was going to have like meal plans so I can talk about it and talk about how it makes me feel. I think I'm going to use some of these other pages to kind of write about it. But this is what I really need to get back into. So I also need to do my wellness journal. So while tracking the information in here is important, especially to like kind of like pinpoint what I ate 5 days ago that might have caused me issues now. This is just good to look at on a bigger picture. So I want to still use this, or start using it is probably what I should say. So I need to do that too. So I need to do notes and stats there. All right. I think, is that it for my nutrition? That might be it, y'all. It's a lot. Like, this is a lot because it's just all hard stuff for me to do. All right. So then the next thing is home, which my main focus is on decluttering. So I need to declutter. I think that's been a big goal of mine for a while. I also need to like think about my yard, because I was really, really busy in April and May. My allergies are also kicking my butt. Now I have a cold, so that's kicking my butt. But the allergies really kept me from doing a lot. So I definitely need to go out and maintain that too. But this is kind of the main focus. So for decluttering, the main thing I need to declutter is all of my closets. So I need another color. I'm just going to use these. So for closets, probably needed to put this on the other page, but it's fine. So for the clothes, we are going to do, what was the one like a couple of years ago? It was like, if you haven't used it in a year, get rid of it. I don't think I can technically do that, especially as someone who's trying to budget and not spend any money. But I might do the 2-year thing. If I haven't really worn it in 2 years, minus work clothes, because I have to keep my work clothes. But any other clothes, if I haven't worn it in 2 years, get rid of it. And then I need to do this pretty much. So I have 2 bedrooms that have clothes in there. So I need to do this 1 room a weekend. And then I have that like random third closet that I stuff the luggage in the bottom, and then I have everything and anything on the shelves. So I need to also destash, and I need to reorganize because I think I might try to put some things up in my attic. And I think that's really it. Yeah, we're not going to be focusing on The focus is mainly going to be on clothes. I definitely need to destash some other things, but that's the main thing. And then finally, we have routines. Now, those of you who went to Go Wild know that there was a fabulous session by Mo from Pipsticks on like a morning routine and how our morning routine really like sets you up for the day and everything like that. Yeah, that has been my struggle. I used to be really good with my morning routines, but I could have been better. I have been decent with my evening routines, but there are some things I want to add to that to, again, be better. It's like those midday evening routines that I fall off from just because those are where the schedule varies. And when my schedule varies, my routines just go by the wayside. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to try to get back to basics, or I'm going to try to get back to basics. So I'm going to be focusing on the morning one, especially because that is what we were talking about with Mo from Pipsticks. So, like I said, nighttime I think is okay. I'm definitely going to have to work on my midday and evening ones. I'm going to work on them, but that's not going to be my focus for this month. I will tackle those at a future time. You guys have heard me say that before. It's just I struggle, and I'm such a routine person where like I said, when things happen outside of like the routine, it like throws me for a loop. But I am struggling myself with routines. So it's kind of like, what? So it's probably why my life feels like it's like out of whack and chaotic because of some of that. So anyway, so for my routines, what I'm going to focus on is I'm going to kind of do what like Mo had even suggested during the thing. And then she said, be selfish. I can be selfish. I don't really have anybody to care for. But the one thing I think I need to do is I have been sleeping in instead of like, I used to wake up probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours before I actually needed to work. So if I'm working from home, when I say 2 hours before I need it to work, like 2 hours before I start work. So I'll like wake up at 5:30, but I don't actually have to start working till 7:30. And obviously I don't have to do much. So I'll like lay in bed till like 7:15. And I do anything. But now I'm not even waking up until like 6:45, 7 o'clock. So I kind of want to like wake up earlier because I'm a morning person. I function my best in the morning, and then I start to like lose energy and everything as the day goes on. So I think I'm going to wake earlier. I hate saying this because, and I hate to even mention this, but would be like falling back soon. And doesn't that mess up everything too? Or is it the spring forward that messes you up? I don't remember which one it messes you up. I think it's the falling back. So like I hate to like get back into a routine of waking up at like 5:30 in the morning and then I'll be waking up at 4:30. But whatever, we got some months to go. All right, so to do that, I need to set an alarm. And like I said, I think for weekdays, I'm going to do 5:30. Okay, that should be good. I don't know that I'm going to set an alarm for the weekends because unfortunately, I think because if I start getting into this habit again, I'll probably be awake by 7 on the weekend. So I don't really need to set an alarm for that. So then what do I want to be part of my routine as part of setting my alarm? So I know I need to, now that I figure out the order, I'm going to do that. I don't know, probably as I go. Like there's going to be no strict order, but obviously I need to do like personal care. Duh. Okay. So, like I said, I should have about an hour and a half to play with on the days that I telework. Actually, on days that I go in to work on a project at work, I still have that would still give me about an hour and a half. The days I just go into the office for regular work, then it'll only give me like an hour. But beside the point, again, I ramble. Sorry, guys. But personal care meds make the bed, right? That's across the board. Tea, water. You're supposed to drink like a full glass of water when you wake up. I also want to get back into doing like hot herbal teas and stuff like that, maybe mixed with collagen. I put read ? I'm a nighttime bed reader. Mo mentioned like reading in the morning. that might not be a bad idea. We'll see. But I put a question mark because I'm not sure. I'm not sure about implementing that because the next ones are hard enough. And that is journaling. I want to do my Dear Diary journaling. Now, maybe I'll do other journaling too. Because she mentioned like 2 pages of full journaling. I can't do that on my Dear Diary journal. I mean, I'm sure some days I can, but other days I probably can't. But like if this is taking me like 5 minutes, all of this is taking me 5 minutes. If I wake up at 5:30, I'm not going to actually get up probably till like 6:15. Who am I kidding? Maybe, stretching. That's right. She did mention that too. This list is going to grow after I close my book. But, so like where were we at? Okay. Dear Diary journaling. So that's different than regular journaling. That's just like sloppy journaling that like when I finish the book, I'm going to rip the pages up and throw it away type thing. Planner check-in that really needs to happen. I'm actually okay with that, especially on my telework days, because that's kind of what drives my work task. My wellness planner, I should be getting into that because that's going to be a major focus. I'm sure I'll do that. Other journaling, that is the opportunity to maybe see if I can do other journaling, like memory keeping journaling from the day before, maybe filling out my 3-year journal, things like that. That kind of just gets my brain going and functioning. And then stretching. Again, not in this order. Obviously, I think some of these things are going to be moved around. But that's kind of the gist of what I want to do. So I'm focusing on my morning routine. I'm also going to be focusing on my wellness routine. So for wellness, I need to schedule, well, actually both of these in planner. So that's actually going to be for both of these, for morning and wellness. So I need to, and that might also be, when I say pencil in my AM routine, it's just more of accountability. So it's not like it's not, because it's a morning routine and I'm not going to be doing anything else during that time. It's not like really time blocking for me, which I do with some other things. It's more for accountability purposes. But for wellness, so I need to schedule workouts. All right, that's kind of what it is. Schedule and planner. I need to pencil in my AM routines. Like I said, I already went over that. Schedule my workouts, schedule my meal plan and preps, and schedule my wind down and stretch. That's more, so that'll be more of PM routine. This will be more of an evening. When it comes to scheduling, when I'm teleworking, I might be able to squeeze in maybe a midday like yoga workout, because that's what we're trying to focus on this month, is like yoga, Pilates, and bar. But realistically, it's probably not going to happen. I'm probably going to have to do it in the evening. So that's it. That is my probably longer video than it should have been because I'm a chatter. But that's like kind of my goal setting and a big part of my monthly reset. This is just going to be for notes. Hopefully I'll take them. It'll be at the end of the month, kind of like my reflections type thing. But like you can see, I'm keeping it simple. Like I had all of these kind of goals, but I really need to do a true reset. And this is kind of where that true reset is starting. The decluttering just needs to happen. It's really the nutrition and the routines that are the major focus. But the decluttering just needs to happen. So it has to go in there. There are other things that I need to think about this month that just has to get done. Like I said, when it comes to finances, there are some things like, I need to cancel certain things, make adjustments to certain things. But that's not necessarily going to go here. But yeah, this is kind of just a springboard for when I start planning my week. So this is kind of what I mean by my monthly reset. But yeah, I hope that wasn't too confusing. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these every month. I always say that. Some months I just like doing this, sitting on my couch, watching my TV type thing. But I definitely want to check in every once in a while to show you where I'm at, maybe show you how I'm changing things up with how I'm doing things. yeah. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please press that like button. If you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Like I said, I do plan on doing a weekly reset where I will be filling in my planners for my fitness and wellness. We'll be doing now some like decorating in here because I did a new planner where I can actually decorate. But on top of that, I'm thinking about combining that with when I'm actually filling it out for like a day or two, so that way you can see me inputting the stuff in my planner. So yes, there'll be a little bit more function sprinkled in with some of the decorative stuff. And of course, you're going to see all of my fun journals, right? All right, guys, that's all I have for now. I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.